Cool. All right. Awesome. So I just want to say that everyone here is awesome. And the reason I'm saying that is because you're all here on World Environment Day. You've got an open mind, you've got a willingness to learn and possibly use that information to not just make yourself a better person, but to treat our environment better and use that information to help our planet and our world. So thank you, you're awesome. So yeah, my name is Brian Hormond, or Brian Hall on Facebook if you want to do like a reference check. I'm 29 years old, I'm originally from South Australia. I've spent a good part of my life in Queensland, and I've been an activist since early 2016. So, I'd like to say that I don't know everything. I'm comfortable saying I don't know everything. And I'm comfortable saying I'm probably not right about everything either. And I hope everyone has that quality as well. Because if we stick with the same old mindset we've always had, or the one we've been brought up with, that's how it's ever going to be. Things won't change. So we have to be willing to challenge our own thoughts and our own beliefs in order to grow and help our planet. So first, I'm going to give you a scenario. And this scenario probably isn't happening, but in some way it could be happening in some shape or form. So for those who are listening, let me put it to you like this. Imagine this. Imagine if I had information and proof and sources, which I do for other things I'll be talking about, but if I had information and sources that told you something crazy like wearing purple, white, and yellow shirts, for you as a consumer was probably one of the worst things you could do for our environment, and I proved that. The twist on that though is you can still wear like blue, greens, reds, and blacks, which is good because it keeps me looking thin. So, I wouldn't be missing out on too much. But, so knowing that those shirts were bad for our environment, if you've even been wearing them your whole life, purchasing them and using them, put your hand up if you'd stop wearing those shirts for the rest of your life if it helped our planet more than anything else. Cool. See, you're awesome because you care. You're willing to make that personal sacrifice, change that habit and behavior you've been doing your entire life because it's better for our planet, our environment. So good on you. Thank you. Okay, so that was an out there sort of scenario, but in some sense it could be true for other situations. Not with the shirts, obviously. But, so from now on, I'm going to share some statistics with you about environmental issues. However, to make it easier to understand and save time, I'm going to use as much logic as I can, because I'm a firm believer on being logical and rational. So, if you look at it today, the world's population is about 7.5 billion people. That's 7.5 billion people all taking some kind of resource from our planet. No matter what situation you are, we're taking something from our planet. The crazy thing is, less than 60 years ago, 1960, our planet only had 3 billion people. So in less than 60 years, our world's population has more than doubled. So it's more than double the amount of people using resources now than there was in less than 60 years ago. At the rate we're going, we're going to have 11 billion people on this planet before the time this century is over, before the year 2100. And population is not something I can control. I can't tell you to have or not have kids. That's not my right, not my say. And if you make that choice though to not have kids because of this overpopulation, that's a very selfless choice, and I have so much respect for you for it. But you know what? The twist on that is if you want to do what's most natural to human beings and it's experience love and start a family, that's awesome. But I'd really hope that you as an individual would teach your kids to make those right choices, those habits and behaviors which are going to ultimately be best for our planet and our environment. So they grow up doing the right thing. Because those behaviors we're living with today, for most people, they're not sustainable. But we can take on sustainable behaviors, sustainable choices, sustainable actions. That's how we're going to save our environment and our planet. Yeah. So the main issue I'm talking about today, we can go into things like global warming. And global warming is real. That's proven by leading scientists across the world, including NASA. And what are the leading causes of global warming? We've got fossil fuels as number one. We've got number two, which says transportation vehicles. Number three, animal agriculture. Number four, environment destruction. And number five is fertilizers and pesticides. And that's a list compiled by planetsave.com. And I agree with what's on the list, but I do not agree with the order of that list. Because one of those things takes something and contributes to every single one of those items. Put it like this, how population can be an issue. And I said the human population is 7.5 billion people today, roughly. That's massive. If you look at it like this though, there are 1.5 billion cows, 2 billion pigs, 1 billion sheep, 500 million goats, and 19 billion chickens. And that's only some of our domesticated farm animals, and that's over 24 billion animals that we've brought onto our earth, taking our resources. That is a massive figure. That's more than 3 times our world's population. We produce 70 billion animals per year. We kill 60 billion animals per year. 3,000, 6,000, 9,000, 12,000, 15,000 animals just died. That's how rapidly we're breeding animals into existence so we can consume them and use them for our personal gain. But all of those animals that we're breeding, whether it's their fault or not, they're having an impact on our environment because of our choices and our behaviors bringing them into an existence. So in regards to global warming, the number one we said was fossil fuels. Fossil fuels. And transportation was number 2. What does animal agriculture need from those 2 things? They need transportation vehicles. Australia is the second biggest exporter of beef in the world. So we need ships and we need planes to get that overseas. We kill 170,000 cows in Australia per week. So those animals are constantly getting punched out, and there's live export too. So think of the thousands and thousands of animals we're shipping overseas using fossil fuels and transportation. That is insane. Those numbers are unbeatable. That's crazy. So all these vehicles, all these trucks transporting these animal products, requiring fuel, requiring petrol, requiring fossil fuels. And the next one down underneath animal agriculture would be deforestation. Deforestation. Major threats to deforestation are things like palm oil, soy plantations, damn vegans and their tofu, right? And then animal agriculture. But what is causing this deforestation? We can look at palm oil, which I agree is bad, but it's very controversial because you can get a lot more plant oil per square meter out of palm oil than you can anything else. But then because of palm oil, orangutan is going extinct. And palm oil is almost in every single product we consume. It can be hidden as vegetable oil and it can still be palm oil. Sustainable palm oil isn't backed enough, so there's a lot of lies about what's really sustainable. And then there's the honest ones who say palm oil. We can't really control that. That's a very difficult scenario. Laws need to change and improve. And then we got soy products. A lot of people bash on soy because soy is wiping out rainforests at a drastic rate. However, 75% of the soy that we harvest is fed to farm animals, mainly pigs and chickens. So that's not a human consuming issue. That's what we're feeding the animals that we plan on eating later. So that's why our rainforest is going down. Literally 4,000, 8,000, 12,000, 16,000, 20,000 square meters of rainforest just got wiped out while I did that. That's how rapidly we're losing rainforests. The human population, right? We consume 10 billion kilograms of food per day. That's a lot of food. But if you think about the food we're eating, aka the cows, every single, across the globe, all the cows consume 60 billion kilograms of plant food per day. And for them to have that plant food and that space for them to be grass-fed, free range, we're wiping out rainforests because they need arable land to grow fruits or to grow vegetables and plant food for them to consume. So if they're eating all that, and we're only eating 10 billion kilograms of food per day, that's a big reason why animal agriculture is the reason we got deforestation at such an alarming rate. And that's why I'd say animal agriculture is the number 1 for deforestation, the number 1 for global warming. And the next thing under that, we got fertilizers and pesticides. Damn vegans again. How dare they eat plants, right? We're growing 60 billion kilograms of plant food just for cattle. All those plants need fertilizers and pesticides as well. So all the gases and emissions from those fertilizers and pesticides are going into our ozone layer and contributing to global warming as well. That's crazy. Just like the cows. Cow farts, cow burps, whatever you want to call it. That's legit. It's happening. They've got 4 stomachs. 4 stomachs to process their food and bodily gases. And before it even comes out one end, it's no longer just CO2. It's methane. And methane is 24 times more potent and more harmful than carbon dioxide. It takes, for example, right? For 1 kilo of beef, it's worth about 35 kilograms of carbon dioxide. For one car to produce that, it has to drive for 250 kilometers. So you got to drive for about 2.5 hours before you can get the same amount of carbon as a kilo of beef. So all these animals are doing the exact same thing, and it's going to our ozone layer, and that's because of supply and demand, because we are buying and supporting these products. Okay, so I've covered global warming to the best of my knowledge at this moment, and the next thing I can cover is water wastage. So what's wasting water? Leaving your shower on, cool. I get that, that is a waste of water. But when we're feeding 60 billion kilograms of food to just cows, all those cows, all those plants that those cows are eating, they need water. These crops need water. So even if you're a vegan or vegetarian eating vegetables all the time, you're still using less water because we're feeding 60 billion kilograms of plant food for cows, non-stop water. Water for those cows who will drink up to 250 litres on a hot day, usually averages about 45, but it can get that high. So all those 1.5 billion cows that are alive right now, out of the 60 billion animals we slaughter each year, are constantly drinking water. Every single animal we grow is constantly drinking water. And I've just been talking about land animals. I haven't been talking about the 2 trillion fish that we kill every single year. 2 trillion. That's 1,000 times more than 1 billion. And we feed them soy as well. And soy needs water. So we're throwing all this water at our food's food when we could cut that food out and use that source to feed us. We are literally feeding cows 3 times enough food to end world hunger 3 times over. But instead, we want to eat beef, dairy, and eggs. So if we look at it like that, we are contributing, by consuming animal products, by purchasing those products, we are contributing to animal agriculture. We are contributing to water wastage. We are contributing to deforestation. Right now, we have 4 billion hectares of rainforest on our Earth. It sounds like a lot, right? But it used to be almost 6 billion. So because of animal agriculture and our choices, we've lost nearly 1/3 of the Earth's surface rainforest. We're wiping that all out. And unfortunately, a big part of that is because of our choices, where we're spending our dollar. We care about our planet, but so many people are unaware of what our dollar is going towards. Every time we buy a product that contains animal products, whether it be beef, dairy, or eggs, we're supporting that massive industry, the biggest industry on our planet, which is destroying our planet, destroying our environment, destroying our rainforest, polluting our waterways, polluting our airways. That's something we all really need to take into account. Because if we keep purchasing these products, we're going to keep destroying our planet. And a lot of things we've done already are irreversible. And if we keep going, there's going to be more irreversible damage. I care about the future of today's youth. I care about the future of today's planet. And if people keep on saying that my choice to eat beef, dairy, eggs, eat any animal that had to die and suffer is their personal choice, I strongly disagree. And not just because it's an animal that had to die, but it's because your choice is going to cause a ripple effect that's going to affect our planet, affect what today's youth experiences in the future, leading to the 2,000 species that are going extinct in our rainforest every single year. So that choice is damaging our planet. It's not your planet, it's not my planet, it's our planet, it's our environment, and the only way to do something about it right now in your everyday choice is to go like this and grab something else at the shop and say, no, I'm not supporting animal cruelty, I'm not supporting environmental destruction, I'm not supporting any of that anymore. I want to be on the right side of history, I want to make the right choice, I want to do the right thing by our planet, our environment. Thank you.